Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. But let's crack on with today's first story, which is titled, Would I Be the Arsehole If I, 26 female, break up with my boyfriend, 28 male of 4+ years over his 40+ body count? We dated for 3 years, broke up for 2 years, and now we're trying to make things work again for the past year or more. We have an insane amount of trust issues due to his infidelity in the past. Things have been hard, but we're doing better than ever. Tonight we had a discussion and he brought up the fact that he'd slept with 20+ women in 1 year while we were broken up. Before we dated, he had slept with 20+ women and I thought that was his hoe phase, but now I'm finding out he doubled it since. I'm struggling to view him the same. I'm almost disgusted by how many women he went through in just 1 year. It makes me question his fidelity going forward, his view on sex and whether it's just a transaction to him or not. I'm worried about his impulse control, and I'm worried that what he acts like when he's single, doing coke and fucking anyone, is a testament to his character and not just some phase. And then on a personal level, I'm afraid I don't live up to the sex history he has and the caliber of women he can get. This has made me extremely insecure. He told me to try and figure out if this news changes whether I want to be with him or not and get back to him because he doesn't want to feel judged. I wanted to marry this man, have his kids, all of it. Now I can't even look at him. Will this pass or should I just end it? Now obviously there's a couple of things that jumped out to me rather than his 40+ body count is the fact that you said you have trust issues with him due to his infidelity in the past and, he's obviously doing coke as well. They kind of jumped out more to me than his 40+ body count when he was single. So you found yourself disgusted with the amount of people he slept with while single, but not him cheating on you? That's where I was scratching my head on this. An actual moment sort of says the same thing and says first mistake was you trying to get back into a relationship with someone who was not faithful the first time around. Why are you forcing yourself to get past trust issues when he's the reason you have them? You completely ignored your gut telling you to run. Don't expect a healthy relationship with a person who doesn't even take commitment seriously. You're disgusted with his body count, but not him cheating on you. Marry someone worthy, someone who is good to you whilst you're actually dating, or else you'll just end up divorced in 2 years when he cheats again. DJ Mixwell says, wow, for those who don't want to go check for themselves. He cheated on her years ago, they broke up, got back together, but a year ago he was still hanging around with at least 2 girls he used to sleep with. One of them he says is his best friend, will be relevant again shortly. She likes to crash at his place sometimes, but he says she's gonna sleep on the couch. It's totally platonic now. They got into a fight because OP wasn't cool with that and he wouldn't budge. Like 2 weeks ago, he takes his girl best friend, who I'm assuming is the best friend from above, out for a 2-day, all expenses paid birthday festivities, including a Broadway show, fancy diners, drinks, gifts, a thoughtful card, the whole shebang. His excuse is that it's because she lives out of state and he hasn't seen her in 5 months. Forget the body count. The guy is actively cheating on her. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I also have a girl best friend who is genuinely one of my oldest and closest friends that I only see 2 to 3 times a year, tops. Last time she was in town, we just went and got lunch with our partners. It was like 45 minutes tops. And the next comment says, this is not a we have trust issues. This is he has a coke and infidelity problem, and those are valid reasons for you to not trust him. And the way he's so flippant about it makes it clear he doesn't see breaching trust to be a big problem. The body count thing is a matter of personal acceptance. Some people care about a partner's body count and some don't. But his body count is not the real issue here. The issue here is whether or not you can trust him, which you've answered yourself above. Not the arsehole. I'd be out the door with this guy. The lifestyle he wants is not compatible with the one you want. And one more from Cleo who says count has nothing to do with fidelity, and experience nothing to do with quality. I'm 50, had sex with over 40 people, stayed 12 years with the same guy, and I never cheated on no one. While I have a high libido when I click with a partner, when alone I have none. For me, a good lover at your age, I thought like you. It's in his character. A good lover will enjoy giving as much as receiving, will be super empathetic and connected in bed, We'll never pressure you to have sex. We'll listen and vibe with you, and we'll make it a journey. A guy who already cheated and lied and manipulated you is not worth the work. To really change, he would have to work hard on himself in therapy. This will take time, dedication, and effort, which is possible if he really wants it, but what's the easiest way for a liar to keep something he likes without putting the effort? Respect of the given word is the basis in a couple. If you don't even have that, it's doomed. So OP does update the post and says, did not expect the original post to blow up so much. Definitely goes to show how controversial a body count can be to everyone. I've learned that everyone is owed their opinions, and personally 40 plus people in your 20s is a lot. But I do have views more so on the conservative side of things, so to each their own. I want to give a bit of a backup story and answer some questions. First time we dated, we were living together and I was a paranoid, insecure and controlling girlfriend. It pushed him away and ruined the relationship. When I went through his phone once, I found he was on multiple dating sites but had never physically met up with anyone. I do still consider that cheating regardless of not having physical contact. During our breakup, he had a brief relationship but spent most of that time exploring his single life. I can't be mad at that. I wasn't in the picture, and although I can have my opinion, I really can't judge what happened during that time. Personally, I was in a relationship with the first man I had sex with after we broke up. I dated him for the majority of the 2 years we were broken up. So even if he fucked 20 plus women, I'm pretty sure I was having more consistent sex than he was altogether. I think some of my hurt is stemming from jealousy. Either jealousy that I didn't get to have a hoe phase, or jealousy that he was able to get a plethora of women back home with him. I am bi, but I didn't have much experience with women. But I definitely don't want or need a hoe phase, and I don't think having threesomes with him would be healthy for my mental health. I'm trying to navigate these emotions the best I can. Now for the update. I didn't sleep at all after he told me all about his single life. When he woke up, I decided to ask some important questions that were sending my mind in a spiral. I asked why he did it, if he was attracted to the thrill of pursuing new women, if he was attracted to the variety of women, or if he was desperately looking for a relationship. He explained that he was just a single, horny man, and he would take girls home, and either he didn't like how the sex went, or he realized immediately that he couldn't stand them and would just have casual sex and move on. He explained that he wasn't attracted to the variety or pursuit, and he didn't actually enjoy not being able to find someone compatible. We kept in touch during this time, and he would tell me how he still loved me, how he couldn't help but compare to me and my mannerisms or personality, and no one ever matched up. So when we finally did get back together, he would always tell me he was so happy he wasn't out there single because all he ever wanted was me, and he jumped right back into my life the second I gave him a bit of wiggle room. I asked him for validation, and he gave that to me. I needed to know why he wants to settle down with me, if he still wants to or knows any of these girls, if he used protection, if he still desires other women, etc, etc. He gave me all the validation I needed to know that regardless of his sexcapades, that he loves me and wants to be with only me for the rest of his life, and I believe that. If he could be with 40 plus women or more, and he chooses to sit there and talk with me for hours about how much he loves me, then yeah, that's gotta show that he's putting in effort and time to make sure I feel special. He used protection the entire time, and we both had STD tests done before we started hooking up again. All of the women were found at a bar, so there's no chance of him being able to still contact them. I would just have to trust him on that. I think the next step is to go back into couples therapy with him and discuss how things move forward with this new information. But to me, I still love him just the same. He's still the same man to me, still the man I want to marry and love for the rest of my life. It may be taboo to try and make a relationship work after trust issues, but I have always had them. I have major trauma from abuse in the past relationships and will always struggle trusting people. This is something we both agreed on having to work and deal with, and he has showed tremendous effort in accommodating my feelings in our current relationship. Thank you to everyone who answered with stories I can relate to or advice from similar relationships. It helps a lot to hear that other people are capable of making that dynamic work. I appreciate all the responses, whether they helped or not. I'm taking everything with a grain of salt because I really can't rely on Reddit strangers to give me answers in my romantic life. I just enjoy venting. And especially thank you to the person who messaged me to inform me that multiple deleting answers that were agreeing that high body counts are a red flag, trying to control the narrative. Again, to each their own. And I think it has to be said, a lot of the comments below this one were still concerned about the OP's priorities in this, skipping past the infidelity and using coke, but focusing on who he slept with whilst they were broken up. And people are struggling to see past that. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from a throwaway account and says, my 41 female husband, 52 male, has a second family on the side. I've been sitting with this information for almost 2 weeks now, and I still don't know how to proceed. My husband has been in what seems like a committed relationship with another woman, and he's playing happy families with her and her 3 sons. They're even planning on having a baby. A week ago, I stumbled on a TikTok account of this lady sharing her recipes, and in the background, I recognized my husband's back. I wasn't too sure at first, but after taking a real good look, and as his wife, I know that fool's neck, back, legs, and the clothing he was wearing. So I went looking through her posted videos just to piece together a confirmation of it really being my husband. I continued to keep an eye on him and his movements, but he seemed normal. It's clear to me now that he has cheating down to a science. Every time he went on his work trip, she'd post these videos saying she's cooking a new recipe because her man is coming back from his work trip. She'd plate the food up, and I'd recognize his grubby hands by their look and the way he'd hold the cutlery. He has a peculiar way of holding it. Kind of looks like a Neanderthal discovering forks and knives. I can't believe this bastard has been with her for 3 years. I don't know how he found the time to start an entire relationship on the side. I thought we were happy. He tells me he loves me all the time, always brings me a gift from his work trips. When he's home, we have a great sex life and pretty much have sex 4 to 6 times a week. We talk all the time. We've been married for 21 years and we have 2 daughters. We lost our eldest son 10 years ago, but we worked through it and got closer than ever before. We are even due to have our 22nd anniversary, and it's his turn to plan it. We alternate who plans the anniversary each year. I know he's been planning an elaborate party for us, so why is he cheating? I'm so angry and don't know what steps to take. I'm utterly distraught. I thought we were happy. I thought he loved our little life. I feel like I can't think, and I barely know where to start. I can barely focus. What do I do, and how do I do it? I love coming on here and reading things and giving advice, but now that it's me, I feel like I can't think. I nearly burned my kitchen down because I literally spaced out and forgot I was cooking. So a couple of people below this one asked OP questions, and the first one said collect all the evidence, all the videos and the timeline of all his work trips. Contact a divorce lawyer and hit him with divorce papers. I'm normally of the approach that splits should be as amicable as possible, but this fucker has a whole second family. Be the definition of a woman scorned. OP says I've been downloading all of her TikToks and screenshot everything she has posted on her Instagram. I've also been collecting all our bank statements, but I can't find anything incriminating. At this point, I'm thinking he has a secondary bank account I don't know of, and he's probably having the post delivered at his office or at his mistress's house. I'm actually considering hiring a private investigator to do a deep dive since I can't find any other evidence of his cheating. Constant Cultural says, do you have real evidence or just pictures of a guy's back? OP says so, no, there are no pictures or videos of his full face or front body. Joyce has him obscured or put emojis where his face is. But looking through the various pictures and videos posted, I've recognized his body, hands, entire back, lips, haircut, scars, his clothes, his suitcases, his car's interior, his grandfather's watch, and his laptop. There's nothing special about it, but my daughters have put a ton of stickers on the bottom part. So piecing all that together, I'm certain it's him. Single Vacation says talk to a lawyer first, don't talk to him. He's most likely spending money on her too. You need to check all your finances to make sure he is not in debt or taking money from any joint accounts, savings, or retirement. I'd also do a credit check on him, the free ones, and see if he has opened any credit cards or has loans or a debt. It could be considered marital debt. You need to set everything up to cover yourself and your children. Most likely he will move with her, which means he will be away and you will have full custody, so you need to get everything prepared to be able to support them and yourself. If you tell him, he'll have time to hide money, because you said he has a business. The business aspects mean you need a very good lawyer because you'll be entitled to a percent of the business or he can pay you. But establishing the worth of the business can be difficult. OP says, I've been looking up law firms and will be reaching out for appointments on Monday. I definitely won't be telling him a thing until I've sorted myself out and had all our ducks in a row. As far as the business goes, I'm financially invested and own half of it, so I definitely need to get a lawyer and forensic accountant involved. I do work and can fully afford to support myself and my girls. Independent Classic says, this happened to me. My ex-husband was in an entire different relationship, all while proposing to me, marrying me in the first 3 years of our marriage. I caught him when he accidentally sent me a Snapchat of the girl. He then had nothing more than to confess. It caught me blindly because he was really the best husband ever, but had so much time as he used work as an excuse. Through therapy I learned that I was married to a narcissist and I was just filling a need for him. Best of luck to you, but do put yourself first. And one more comment from EMCCM who says, keep your mouth shut, find a good attorney, interview as many as needed, gather as much evidence as you can before he knows that you know. A good attorney will be able to get you back any marital funds he spent on his affair as part of your settlement. A good attorney will know how to find what he's hidden. Don't skimp on things like an investigator and forensic accountant. There's a chance he's lying to her too. This man is a master liar. What you found out is probably only the tip of the iceberg. As to why? Well, because he can. Cheaters get off on the deception. He's deceiving 2 whole-ass families. This is likely what he thinks about when he's jacking off. Don't waste your time trying to figure it out. There's nothing deep there. I recommend the Chump Lady site. I love to hear what BS he made up to stay out of her TikToks. So OP does update the post and says, firstly, thank you all for your kindness and for all the great advice you've given me. I'm truly grateful. The past couple of weeks have been a whirlwind of emotions. I've been able to engage the services of a great divorce lawyer, and I was advised to not let my husband know that I knew of his affair. I was then finally given the go-ahead a few days ago, and well, at first he refused to admit anything. But I was prepared for that, and I showed him all the online posts his mistress made. I also showed him pictures taken by my investigator. He still denied it, and accused me of being insane. And after hours of me just throwing evidence after evidence at him, he finally admitted to the affair. He tried to twist things so that he could weasel and lie his way out of it, but I was relentless. I did not let him twist reality and make me doubt the plain truth. We argued all day and all night, and it was exhausting. The next morning, he tried to get on my good side because I woke up to him having made breakfast, and he was begging me to not hate him and to find it in my heart to forgive. I told him I could not, and that I wanted a divorce. That brought on the waterworks, and he called me a heartless and an unforgiving bitch. He then left to take his things to his parents' house as I asked him to leave. When he was at his parents', I went to his mistress's home. My sister went with me. She waited in the car. And well, she let me in and we talked. She wasn't even surprised I was there. I had already suspected she was aware of him being a married man, but I still gave her the benefit of the doubt. She was actually gloating when she told me about how in love he is with her, how good he is to her boys, and how he bought her the house, the car, and all the other money he spent on her. She then told me if I wasn't such a lazy bitch and gold digger. How I'm a gold digger I don't understand, as I work and earn even more than him. He wouldn't have been so easily taken, and how my lack of submission and servitude was the reason he cheated. As she was flapping her gums, he arrived and he was pissed off at her. They argued as he told her not to speak to me like that, and that he, in no uncertain terms, told her that he wants to be with me, as she's ruining his chance at saving his marriage. I just thanked her for being forthcoming and continued to laugh my way out of the house because yes, my husband makes great money, but as his business partner, I own half of the business, and as his wife, I own half of all his other assets. So I'm glad that she gloated and that she confirmed that he paid for most of what she has. Now I know for certain that he nor she deserve an ounce of my sympathy, and I will take back everything he ever gave her, and much more. And No Koala asked below this one says, is he still trying to get you back or is he now with a mistress? OP says, he was at the house earlier today and begging on his knees, then screaming, please, please don't do this, then flipping out. He finally left after I threatened to call the police. He's also constantly sending me crazy ass texts saying we shouldn't let the devil get between us. He's also sending me inspirational quotes and stories, links to marriage counselors and begging me to go to it. And there was a story below this post talking about how surprisingly common it is and started off saying second families are surprisingly common. I'm an accountant and I can't tell you how many mistresses get added to company payrolls as a front for cheating husbands slipping them money. And there was one guy we worked with who got caught. He had children with both, who even went to the same school. The wife and mistress were furious, but neither wanted to give him up. They started this weird arrangement where they just shared him. 4 days a week with his wife, 3 days with his mistress, paying for both households, raising all 7 of his children, taking holidays with both. The kids were raised as siblings to an extent. The wife and mistress seemed happy enough with the arrangement. Their families weren't broken up and they became quite friendly to each other. The husband wasn't happy though. He married the wife for her money, but always said the woman he loved was his mistress. He had twice the responsibilities and none of the fun once his second family was revealed. His wife was very financially savvy and had her name on everything in the business and even on the mistress's house. If he ever left her, he'd lose a fortune. The mistress would get practically nothing. All 3 of them were at the wife's mercy basically. I left the accounting firm. I still get a few friends still there who keep me informed. The husband is apparently getting worried that his wife won't need him around much longer, as their kids are almost all fully grown. Serves him right. I know it's not really the point of the stories, infidelity and all this sort of stuff. But I always think when, people are leading double lives, double families, we've seen it in the past. And I always think, how the hell do they have so much time? Apparently running a business at the same time, yet he's got 2 families, 7 kids in that last little story that we read there. And just taking holidays with both. What the hell? My brain can't even think about that, let alone actually dealing with that sort of shit in real life. Holy moly. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Dear me. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.